What's up everyone, it's Zach here from Bear Media Photography. Today we're going to be talking about another experience that I've experienced during my time as a photographer. My last video that I did wasn't the most positive. It was mostly full of negativity. It was just an unfortunate event. Just quickly, I want to thank everyone for checking out that video. Thanks so much for the support. It gained so much more attention than I had originally anticipated, which is great. I just want to be able to get that kind of message out there. If you haven't seen it, link in the description. I basically just tell you guys about an stupid goddamn incident that happened while I was photographing Alice Cooper, and how just someone can ruin the whole night. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about my time photographing Josh Wade here in Toowoomba. Now, for you guys who may not know who Josh Wade is a massive upcoming Australian comedian who, I don't want to say he started out because I don't really know where he started out, but for me, when I was first introduced about 3-4 years ago, the first things I saw were his parody videos of the Australian politics and government and all that kind of stuff, just things that everyday Australians have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So what I'll do is I'll link a video down in the description of one of my favorite all-time Josh Wade videos. So if you guys haven't seen him or heard of him, be sure to give it a click and it'll take you over there, see what you think, and give him a follow and all that kind of shit. So I don't know exactly how much detail I'm going to go into in this video. I just really want to outline my time with him and photographing him and what I was thinking and basically just what my overall experience was. So hopefully this video is going to be a much more positive one compared to the last one. Now, I don't exactly know where to start, but I'm pretty sure this took place June 23rd of this year. A week prior to that, I didn't even know that he was coming here. I believe he was doing 2 off shows, but it was just off a big tour here in Australia. So he decided to do a one-off show in Toowoomba and a one-off show in Ipswich, I'm pretty sure. So a week prior to the show, I didn't have any knowledge that he was coming here. The way I found out was his promo video over on Facebook. So what I did was I went to the ticket section and found his manager's details, and I reached out to him and just said, hey man, massive fan of Josh Wade. I'd love to come down and photograph his show for the night so you guys can use some shit for social media or whatever. Just a way to document the event. Because I hadn't seen too many people branching out and taking photos of comedians. Typically, I'm a music photographer, so 95% of it's all music. The other 5 is just about events, local events, and the one-off comedian show, I guess, stand-up. So me and the manager are talking back and forth for maybe a day or 2, and everything is cool. He's like, sure man, no worries, I'll let Josh know. And that was that. That was really it. There was no, oh yeah, who are you shooting for? What's your publication? Do you have this experience? Do you have these credentials? That is the worst thing. It's so intimidating, but luckily this time around it was easy going. So the night of the show, I arrive at the venue. Josh and his crew aren't there just yet, so I wait in the car for a while. And I'm pretty sure maybe about 20 minutes later, he shows up and they all head inside and start talking preparation for the show. So I think I stayed in there for another 10 minutes just composing my thoughts. I'm going into this venue to see someone who I've been looking up to for the past 3-4 years and someone who I've thoroughly enjoyed watching on the internet. So I was a bit intimidated, so I had to compose my thoughts. So I walk in there, say good day to everyone, and the first thing that Josh says to me is, hello, you're the photographer, man. Yes, Joshua, I am the photographer, man. Thanks very much. So we get acquainted and say good day to everyone, get introduced to one another, which is great. Met a few new people, which is great. The next thing that we really did was we walked across the road to the actual pub, I guess, and we went up the stairs into a green room where we chilled out for a while and we were graciously served dinner. This is my first time really being in a green room with a group of people as a photographer, and the vibe was just so chill. Everyone's just hanging out, having a good old chat, having a beer, and eating dinner, which was great. Now, this is the first time I'm sitting with someone who I admire, and I cannot tell you how privileged I feel for that, to this day even. And this is also, not to mention, one of the first times I see who Josh Wade is as a person. A majority of the time, someone who changes themselves to make their content. I could easily just sit here and go, and change who I am to try and make this more entertaining for you guys, but I'm trying to be real. So, you know, it's like a different persona, I guess. I'm thinking that Josh is just going to be off his head, making jokes left, right, and center. But no, this dude sitting next to me, and he just starts talking the most real shit I've ever heard. I won't go into detail about what it was, just simply because privacy. You guys just don't need to know what we're talking about. But here's Josh talking with a random guy in the room who he's met for 10 minutes, and he's speaking and acting like he's known me for 5 years or something. Now, he was genuine, and I knew that he was really in a good place. So that was really, really good to see. And it only just made me more motivated to get the best photos for this guy. So the half an hour or so goes by, and we've been talking a bunch about, you know, our gear, what we do in our spare time, where we're from, and just whatever chit chat. So now is about the time of the show. The audience is starting to come in. We are across the road. We come back across the road and round the back entrance, where there's already people waiting. So that was a bit of a different experience. I felt like kind of a bodyguard, you know? So through this video, while I'm talking about these events, I'll do my best to put up some images that I've taken for you guys to see, just to give a bit more context and a bit more of an insight on what happened. So Matt and Isaac are two of the guys that I met who were in Josh's crew, I guess. Both of them are opening acts for Josh. So, you know, they've had about 15-20 minutes on stage. So they're out there doing their thing, really giving a great performance. So at this point in time, I'm kind of just chilling out. I'm trying to get my settings right on my camera. It's really, really dark. That's probably one of the downfalls I had about the evening. The lighting just wasn't the best. So a bunch of the photos I took were a bit dark. So yeah, I'm sitting at the back, I'm doing my own thing, trying to get my camera settings done and dusted. At this point in time, Josh is walking around, getting ready, preparing everything. We'll skip forward a bit, everyone's off stage, and it's about time for Josh to come on stage. The thing about stand-up is because you don't know what to expect unless you've seen their show a billion times before. You don't know what's going to happen here and there. But one of the things we discussed while we were in the green room across the road was his introduction. He was going to have a bunch of music playing, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of lighting going crazy. So I knew to expect that. I knew that I'd have to try and get a good angle to see him coming on stage, which I'll put an image up here for you guys to see. This is him coming onto stage, kind of just looking out into the crowd. I think it's a really good shot. So the venue we're at is relatively large. It's got a wide fucking wall. Oh man, I don't know. It's just big, okay? The venue's pretty big. So I've got a lot of room to walk around and a lot of opportunities for angles and all that kind of jazz. So nearly every shot that I was using was the 18 to 200 millimeter lens. The main reason I would use an 18 to 200 is for my zooming. If I want to get anything close up, anything like that. It's not ideal for low light whatsoever. But if you can get the settings 110% correct, you can every once in a while get a gem, which was fortunately what I was able to do. I got a few good ones here and there. A majority of them were the 50mm, just because it's a much better in low light lens, and I use that for all my concerts and all my events, and it's just more crisp, more sharp. So yeah. So my overall mindset for this show was to get Josh. I knew he wanted a bunch of portrait photos, which is something that I'm not used to. So I did my absolute best to run around the venue, getting different shots from here and there. Some side shots, some back ones, trying to get the whole venue. Obviously, I couldn't do that. No light whatsoever, so nothing showed up on the camera. It's just way too dark for me to work comfortably in, so I struggled in that aspect. But yeah, you know, a bunch of it was just trying to get him smiling, pointing, and then a bit of crowd reaction here and there. You know, so about an hour or so later, the show is finished. Josh comes off the stage. Everyone starts leaving, and graciously, you know, he's going out there to meet all the fans, which is absolutely great. I can't imagine how long he would have been there for. There were so many people. but I'm sure it was well worth it in the end. So before he goes to head out there, I send my thanks, my gratitudes for the opportunity to be able to do something like this. And then, we took this photo, one of my favorite photos, and that just concludes a great night. So the reason I wanted to make this photo is for if anyone who is a photographer and typically does music, branch yourself out, expand your horizons, I guess. Take every opportunity you can, even if it's once, to get an insight on what shooting this particular thing could be like. If you've got an event coming up in your city, photograph it for that one time. And if it's not for you, then, you've tried it, you've branched out, you've gave yourself more experience in different fields of work. And I really took this one as another opportunity to expand myself. So I'm not just doing music. I can be available for everything now. And you can bet your ass 120,000% if he's anywhere close to Toowoomba, I will be there straight away to photograph him yet again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't exactly know what the whole idea of it was. I just wanted to talk my experience, particularly because it's something different than music and it could be a bit different, or you don't know what to expect. People don't know what to do. Hopefully this kind of helps you. Just be yourself. All I can say, be yourself. Whilst you can also enjoy the time spent with that person, you cannot let that get in the way of your work. You're there to work, take photos, and kind of just promote that show. So, you don't want to half-ass it. You want to get the best shots that you can with the lighting situation and whatever gear you have. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you've got any more experiences that you want me to talk about, or anything regarding my gear or how I think when I'm shooting different things, let me know down in the comment section down below. And with that said, guys, I'll see everyone in the next video. Have a good one.